So, it's been, as my friends say, a brick since I've uploaded or done anything for about a month. Some of you may be wondering, why is that? Well... yeah, I've been pretty busy more than usual. To the point where I didn't really even have time to even think about making a video. But why am I coming back with a Code Lyoko review of all things? Couple of reasons. One, someone requested me to do it, so I said yes. Two, this is how my thought process usually works when making a video. It's pretty crazy that the second 2020 started, God was pretty much like,
nope, you humans have had it good for too long now.
Possible World War III, insane wildfires in Australia, and a pandemic virus. Great stuff. It's bizarre to think that how because someone didn't cover their mouth when coughing or sneezing, I can no longer buy water or toilet paper at my local Walmart or Costco. But it occurred to me one morning that it's probably not God doing all this. I know who. Xana. It makes perfect sense. Only problem we're having is returning to the past. But other than that, it's because of that I'm making the review now. So this is the review of Code Lyoko. Now, I very personally wanted to review this show during the summer if I could, mostly because this series is the perfect embodiment of an after-school show. I know I'm not the only one who felt this. Come home from school or daycare, I go to 7-Eleven, get a Slurpee, because those actually worked back then, bag of Cheetos, and be on my way. Turn on the TV to see Magoozy, which was basically a toned-down Toonami, but in the afternoons, holding such shows as Totally Spies, Transformers, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Pretty good series overall, but the one that caught most people's attention was Code Lyoko, a group of preteens going to school trying to live their lives, only to find out that there's a factory with a bunch of technology that can help stop and defeat a psycho computer program that can cause disasters either across a city or to the entire planet if it wanted to. Pretty insane for its concept, though when it came to the overall story, it's not too bad. It mostly has an episodic format, not all the time. Those other times are used for pretty big story purposes, though again, most of the episodes, especially ones within Season 1, follow the same routine of live life normally, strange stuff is happening, so it has to be Xana, go to the virtual world, beat up some monsters, deactivate tower, fucking time travel to the past of all things, just for like a couple of hours, and everything's back to normal for the next week or so. That's pretty much it. And I don't blame people if they were turned off by that idea or got sick of it, because it can be a bit samey for some. But again, when the story wants to push forward, it does just that. Like, the whole climax of Season 1 was to have Aelita in the real world, and could stay there. And it's not one of those one-off things for like an episode or two. No, once she's there in the real world, she's pretty much there for the rest of the series. So, that's pretty good. And of course, it gets pretty deep with Xana and the world building around him and the characters that we have. And speaking of characters, time to address the elephant in the room. That being the art style a bit. Particularly regarding the character designs. Unfortunately, most of the characters' foreheads are as big as the United States, for whatever reason. Is this from art style? Probably. Is it distracting and a bit goofy? Yeah, and I can't lie on that matter. But continuing with art style, besides foreheads bigger than my own future, one thing that did make this show unique, in a sense, was the virtual world that the Lyoko warriors would travel to on defeating Xana. Appropriately enough, when they do go to the virtual world, they take on a 3D appearance. And it's not too bad, actually. I think why I find it appealing is because it all reminds me of a video game. Each episode or so is like a level in and of itself, going from the ice caps to the Rocky Mountains and to the canyons. Even more charming when the story continues on and the group needs to get stronger in one way or another, be it through new techniques, new weapons, vehicles, or new members, all with the style of one of my favorite openings from a cartoon. I will never forget it.
Here we are, like a star shining bright on your world today. Make evil go away. Call your call, will we set it all? Call your call, be there when you call. Call your call, we will stand real tall. Call your call, stronger after all.
When you walked into my life and we connected like we share the same ocean.
Though, with all of that and being Maguzi's most popular show, I would say, it ended with 4 seasons. Pretty good, actually. And note how I said it ended. It didn't get canceled like most people would think. It actually did have a proper ending. But that's not where the story technically ends, as 5 years later, after the original Code Lyoko finished, Code Lyoko Evolution furthered the story, and the biggest difference being that the everyday life of the cast is no longer 2D animation, but it's live action. And we all know how people feel when you take away their cartoons for live action. So in other words, of course not many people were too keen on this spin-off. Now, I haven't watched it at all, mainly because it's in French, so yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Granted, the 3D Lyoko world is still there, and me saying that everything about the world reminds me of a video game got pushed a bit more from the designs that they have here, clearly. But I guess that's all there is to it when it comes to Code Lyoko. It's a pretty fun show when you want to have something that's not too heavy or something that requires your attention heavily, which I don't mind. Everything about it is pretty great. I honestly wouldn't say that it was ahead of its time or anything. And then again, looking how the world is right now, who knows? But you get what I mean. You could look at this as an RPG. You do the same fights for most of the game, the story moves along here and there, and that's that. And when it comes to the next season, you'll probably have no trouble watching it. It's like starting a new game. You play through it once, and you can give it another go. So why not? And that's the review of Code Lyoko. A pretty great show overall. Again, not the most spectacular thing that I've ever seen. It's just fun to watch a couple of episodes and you get the general idea of it. And if you get hooked, well, again, you have like those climaxes at the end of the seasons. I wouldn't say at the end of the season because I know they do get more story driven as the seasons do go on, but everything else is pretty much the same. So yeah, finally got to do the Code Lyoko review, randomly if anything. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below about Code Lyoko, or how the world is on fire right now at the moment. So that's cool. Comments below, you know what to do with the links that I provide and everything of the sort. Thank you for watching. That's greatly appreciated, of course. Have a great day, have a great night, and everything else, you know what to do.